everybody, welcome to Coffee with Allie. Today's guest is Sierra. What a surprise. And we're going to be speaking about the top 10 tips for models when working with a photographer and how to make that collaboration successful. So, tip number 10, wear clothing that fits properly.
That's pretty important. Yeah.
If you wear baggy clothing, you're going to look like heavier and blocky.
Yeah. And just like your clothing will also wrinkle more. So.
Which brings us to tip number 9. Iron your clothing.
Yeah. Take the extra step, right?
Take that extra step because I'm going to tell you one of the consequences of not ironing your clothing. Either you've got a photographer that doesn't do a lot of Photoshop and your stuff's going to have a bunch of wrinkles in it. Or if you've got a photographer like me, I'm going to obsessively remove every single wrinkle out of your fabric.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously. And you get 3 images or 2 images because you made me do all that Photoshop.
I mean, I would just give them 1.
Well, fine. But a lot of times I give them 5 or 6 and you make me do all that.
Right.
And you're not, and it's a free collaboration shoot. You just caused me a whole boot ton of work.
Yeah.
So iron.
Iron or the Wrath of Allie.
The Wrath of Allie. Do you want to share number 8, Sierra?
Number 8. Don't ask for more shots, more poses repeatedly.
Please don't do that.
I know this from experience. You complain about it actually pretty frequent, on the frequent, yeah.
So there are things like photographers, you're just going to annoy us.
Yeah.
And if you do these kinds of things, you're not as likely to get another shoot. And if you really like that photographer's work, you don't want to get onto that blacklist.
And I think the important thing is that photographers, makeup artists, behind the scenes-ish people, right, who are not out in that photo, they talk. They talk about that stuff.
And the other thing, because this happened to Sierra and I last summer, I'm not going to give any details, but it was somebody that was done at about 300 shots and pushed us to about 500 shots. Mm-hmm. Sierra's holding a reflector over her head in the boiling hot sun.
Oh my gosh.
It was not fair. And we were done.
I was melting.
You were
and at that point, it would have been like, we had been in makeup for, I think, like 30 to 40 minutes. Then we were out in the sun for probably a good 40 minutes.
Yep.
Right? Because we were at, like, the tail end. And it was just like, I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, literally, I can't.
Number 7. And this is really important. And this is important not just for collaborating with a photographer. This is important if you're going to pay a photographer. Pick a photographer whose style you like.
Yes.
Don't go to a pretty princess photographer and ask them to shoot you like a villain. They might be okay with it, but if you see everything they've done is soft and beautiful and backlit, that's probably not your photographer.
Right.
Come to me if you want me to shoot something dramatic with deep shadows. And
right. Or, for example, like, you definitely prefer portraiture work.
Yes.
Whereas, for example, Dan, when I worked with Dan, he really does
full body.
Full body.
Yeah.
And so that is like completely different. So if you're looking for something that is completely, I mean, you do full body too.
I do full body. It's like,
but you enjoy doing portraiture.
I do. I enjoy from the waist up or hips up.
Yeah.
A lot of it is driven by my small studio in the winter. I can't get far enough back.
Right.
Or I don't have a good background to include the feet. But a lot of it is true.
Yeah.
I just prefer to get expression. Would you like to share number 6?
Of course. Number 6, don't nag for photos for the first week after your photo shoot. How annoying is that?
It's like blacklist annoying.
Yeah.
It
would kind of be like a cosplayer getting a commission after the first week and that person asking constantly for their costume after only 1 week.
Right.
That would be really
Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? Is it ready yet? You got any pictures for me yet? You got any pictures for me yet? And I'm like, hey, A, I'm not charging you.
Right.
B, I might not be feeling good. I might not be in the mood. I'm an artist. Let me edit. And
you get a better image if you don't rush.
And if you annoy me, there's a good chance I'm going to take it into Lightroom, throw a few sliders, and shove it up there and say, there you go, you're done.
Right. And like the only time I think I've ever nagged a photographer for a photo is after a month. If after a month I don't have my photos, I will politely, especially because a lot of the time the people that we work with, it's just for our portfolios, so it's free. Right. But I will politely say, hey, just wanted to check in and see if my photos for XYZ shoot's done. If not, completely fine, just checking in on them.
And on the other side of that, as a photographer, you do need to set expectations and stick with them. Because how models talk too.
Yes.
And you're not going to get models working with you if you tell them I'll have you your shots ready in 2 weeks, and 6 weeks later they're like, this dude's still, this woman, there's no shoots.
Right.
Well, what was the point? I put that whole cosplay together and I did all that work and I got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share number 5. Please don't come to a photographer and expect Photoshop to fix things. You just like, oh, sorry, I put a piece of tape that's holding this piece of like armor on, and can you just Photoshop that piece of tape out? Because, you know, it doesn't look good. And I mean, I get this stuff all the time. This went wrong. Well, like, I don't like this wig, so can you just Photoshop so that it doesn't look like that? You're asking a lot, and sometimes it's not going to look good. Sometimes I just crop it. I'm like,
no,
it's
not worth it.
Yeah,
it's so much work. Like, I think people don't realize, like, because you are so good at Photoshop, I think people don't realize the time that it really takes to remove something or to alter something, especially like wig hair. Whenever there's all of those, there's just baby hairs. Unless you have a very, very good wig, there are all these baby hairs that are around them, and that takes time to remove all that and get a good photo.
And if we did backlighting, every one of those hairs is lit. So, Sierra, what's number 4?
Be reliable. Yes.
And that goes on both sides.
Yes.
Show up on time. If you're not going to be on time, let them know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is one that I've noticed. Eat! This is more of an issue with women. Do not show up at a photo shoot starving.
Yeah.
Don't worry if you've got a little muffin top. You're not going to lose 10 pounds by skipping breakfast.
Yeah, that's very true.
So just eat.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest advice that I would give, and I actually get this from Brittany Joy, the biggest advice that I can give is the night before you have a photo shoot or the night before you have something, eat something super carby. Because the next morning, you're going to feel really full. You might feel bloated, especially if you're eating junk food or sugar. So eat something super healthy the night before and then eat like a normal person right before your photo shoot, or have a snack at the photo shoot, because that's not going to show up on camera. There's nothing that you can do. You're just going to feel starved afterward, and you're going to be more tired, more cranky, right?
Right. And I mean, like, honestly, the kind of things that I might have to fix on a body could be things that it doesn't matter if you ate or not.
Right.
So, like, if your bra strap is too tight and you've got to bump over it, I'm going to fix that. And honestly, if you were starving, it's still going to bump. So,
yeah, that's true.
Would you like to share number 2, Sierra?
Of course. Bring your personality, but don't be a diva.
No divas. I don't think we need to say more.
No. No. No, yeah.
No, I think
yeah. If you're a diva, I feel like
you may not know it.
Yeah. And that might be the reason people don't want to work with you.
Right, or work with you again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one, and this is a big one. This is the number one thing you want to remember when you're working with a photographer. The photographer owns those images. They own the copyright to those images. It doesn't matter that it's you. They usually will have you sign a model release. Do not edit those images. Don't flip them to black and white. Don't add an Instagram filter, and do not crop their watermark out.
Right.
For example, maybe somebody gave you something in landscape and you're not fitting it onto Instagram, and you think, oh, I'm going to just crop this. Don't. There's apps like No Crop. You could use an app like No Crop. No Crop will just add borders around it so it's a square, and then shoves it onto Instagram. And I wouldn't consider that editing. I would be, thank you for saving my watermark and not destroying the crop of my image.
Right.
And if you really need, like, okay, I had Galen, he's awesome. He does this amazing movie studio Spider-Man. And he wanted to do this thing on Instagram where it splits your image into 9. And when you go to his page, like, it's like this huge montage.
Yeah. I've seen those. Okay.
Well, he asked me permission.
Oh, okay.
And I said, yeah, sounds great to me. I'm certainly not going to go into Photoshop and split that thing into 9 for you so that you could do that.
But he asked.
He asked. And you know what? I'll shoot him anytime.
Right.
Because he had that respect.
Right. And that's what it's about. I think what people don't understand is photography is an art. Just like cosplay is an art, or just like makeup is an art, or just like anything that we're doing, costuming, makeup, wigs, whatever the case may be, it's all art. And would you like it if a photographer told you, I really don't like your cosplay, so why don't you change this, this, and this? Or that wig is horrible, don't wear that wig.
Or what if you came in and you had a very movie accurate cosplay and I decided to change the color?
Right.
Because, you know,
in Photoshop.
In Photoshop, I could just go, hey, you know what? Spider-Man would look great in orange. I'm going to change him.
Please never do that.
I don't think I will, because I think he looks really good in red and blue, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I could make him orange.
You could, but it would be horrible.
It would be horrible.
It would look like he would look like a basketball court. Kind of. A little bit?
I don't know what he would look like.
Know.
We're not going to find out. So, that's our top 10 tips. And really, they're just about, again, we always come back to collaboration. And they're about how to communicate with a photographer, how to work with a photographer, and how to be successful in that venture. And there is a huge amount of people that are just working and portfolio builders and working together. And, you know, we talk. We're all a community. Here in the DC area, we have the DC cosplay photo shoots. Us photographers talk, the cosplayers talk, the photographers talk to the cosplayers. It's a community. And people know, you know, and really if you're polite and you're nice and you're easy to work with.
Those are the people that I love working with the most.
Me too. They're so awesome.
Yeah.
So that's all we're asking. That's all we're mentioning. So good luck and happy photo shoots.
I guess.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget, give us a like. Just, you know, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. You'll see more of our videos. And check out the Instagram, Facebook. It's all in the comments. And leave us a comment. We love to hear comments. And I always reply. Yeah. Thank you.